Okay, the second part of this part of naming acids and bases is going to be on how to balance equations of acids and bases when they dissociate in water. And so all this means is basically what happens to these acids and bases when they're in water. And we're talking about these ions separating. And so we need to know the names to be able to write these things correctly. So I'll kind of try my best to refer to the naming of this. So if you guys remember, hydrochloric meant that it was "ide." Okay, so chloric is the chlorine atom, and hydro, there's our hydrogen because we know it's an acid. Okay, this is going to combine with our water. Okay, and basically what's going to happen to these ions that make up this hydrochloric acid when it's in water. And so we've kind of already done this, so this should make sense a little bit. Okay, so hydrochloric acid, we're going to get a hydrogen ion, and we're going to get a chlorine ion, and we're going to have water. And just like we did before, the water stays connected. Okay, in reality it really doesn't, but we'll talk more about that later on. So if you remember, if we take a look and it's balanced now, there's one hydrogen here, one hydrogen here, one chlorine, and one chlorine. So this one's pretty easy. Okay, so we just need to know that the same numbers on this side are equal over here. Some students might get confused and want to say, oh, that's a diatomic, so there should be a little 2. Remember, these are just for the ions. Okay, these are just for the ions. All right, these are not the number of atoms of them. So this is just a number of ions that are there. So I have 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, the second example is a base. Okay, how do I know it's a base? Because I have hydroxide. All right, so calcium hydroxide. So I know I have a hydroxide ion, and I just have calcium here. Okay, calcium is a +2, hydroxide is a -1, so I know I need to have 2 of those. Okay, when this is in water, it is going to break apart into these separate ions. So I'm going to have calcium hydroxide ions and H2O ions. Okay, let me clean that up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to separate this over here, and you'll see why here in a second. Okay, so if you take a look, okay, I've written out all of the ions, so this is going to dissociate. Ions are going to break apart. One calcium, we're good. 2 hydroxides, so I'm going to need to put a 2 in front of that. Okay, waters again stick together. So this is pretty straightforward, guys. Just got to make sure that you write these correctly, okay, and then having the same numbers on both sides. So basically, what little numbers are down here are going to make sure we have those numbers there, and what little numbers we have here are going to go in front right there. That's kind of a way to think about how those things separate. So that's it. Pretty straightforward and easy. We'll see you guys.